from today onwards, we are going to start with the Power BI desktop. Next 10 days of time, we are going to have a discussion on Power BI desktop. Then after Power BI service, Power BI mobile and other things will be discussed. In order to proceed with the Power BI desktop, you require, one second. So in order to work with the Power BI desktop, you require Windows 8 or Windows 10 64-bit or Windows 7 SP1 64-bit. So in order to practice everything, you require these softwares, any one of them. So now Power BI desktop, you can get it from Power BI site. So here I am sharing the link on a chart. You can click on download free. You can download from here. Once it is downloaded, you can install. So installation, you don't need to configure anything. It is like normal other softwares. You just need to click on next, next, next and finish. So here, click on next and so why? Because I already have an existing installation, that's why it is asking repair. For you people, it will ask for next. Previously I already have a Power BI installation, that's why it is doing a repairing. Let it install. Update the files. Okay, so I don't want to restart my machine. Let it install. I'm not doing any installation. You people just go ahead with the installation. It will not ask for any configuration. You just need to click on next, next, next and finish. And once you install that software, that will be available as part of your all programs, Power BI desktop. So whenever you open a Power BI, this is what the user interface. Once you download and install your software, whenever you open your Power BI application, this is what the user interface. This we will discuss after some time. We can reopen it by using a file. Get started. The same window we can get it. We will discuss this one later. Now this is the platform where you can develop the Power BI, like where you can work on a Power BI. Here, before discussing much, we'll have a high level understanding of what are the different windows of Power BI. and what is the use. As I said yesterday, if you want to work with any reporting tool, the first step is you need to load the data. How to load the data in Power BI is, you have an option called get data. From here onwards, whatever I'm just telling, understand that one, you will get a good flow in the next 2 hours of time. So next 2 classes of it. So here, in order to load the data into Power BI, you have an option called get data. Get data, and you need to select a source from which source you want to load the data. One second. Get data, you can click on more. You can see the list of sources which Power BI support. From these all sources you can load the data. For now, I am loading the data from Excel file. Click on connect. Whenever you click on connect, it is asking you to browse a file. So I am browsing one sample document. So whenever you given that file, Power BI is analyzing that complete Excel workbook, and all the independent sheets will be considered as a tables. And within a sheet, you can have a multiple tables. By clicking on a Control T, we can create a table. So Power BI is going to analyze the list of tables which are available in Excel, or you can consider that list of worksheets, and is going to showcase here. Then after, you can load the data whatever you want. You can select the tables or sheets. You can click on load. Whenever you click on load, those tables structure and the data will be loaded here. Let it load. So still some people are audio is not connected. Just give me 1 minute. Fine. So you can load the data by using a get data option, and whatever the tables that you loaded, that will be available here. Just a second. Okay, fine. Sorry for the disturbance, like many people are on unmute, so that's why. Okay, fine. So if you want to load the data in a Power BI, you have an option called get data. With the help of a get data, you can add a connection here and you can load the data. For now, I loaded the data from Excel by selecting a get data and Excel option. By Excel option, I browsed the Excel file, and then after I selected the tables whatever I want, I selected and click on load. So whenever you made a load, the table will come here. That is how you can able to load the data from a external source to Power BI. Now here we have a 5 windows are there: fields, visualizations, report view, data view, and a relationship view. We'll understand a high level introduction regarding that windows. The fields is a tab which contains the list of tables that you loaded. The list of tables that you loaded from a different connections. That might be a single connection, or that might be different connections. What do you mean by different connections is, as part of this report, we are loading the data from Excel, Oracle, or SQL Server, some other online source. I am going to create a report, or I am going to create a model from a different sources. So at that time, whatever the source that you connected, all the tables will be available here. So the fields is a window which contains the list of tables that you loaded irrespective of a sources. So here we loaded 4 tables. The tables and the columns are available here. That is what a fields. The next one is visualizations. Power BI by default provides these visualizations. These are the visualizations which Power BI is providing. Other than that, we have almost 100 plus custom visualizations are there. So the visualizations is nothing but the default visualizations which Power BI is providing. If you want to create a visualization or a report, what you need to do is select a visualization here, and you need to drag and drop the fields here. So automatically visualization will be created. Then after, you need to customize it. You can enable the data labels, and you can increase the size, and you can provide the y-axis and x-axis, increase the font, and like background colors, border colors, providing a title, and everything you can configure with the help of this customization. So now visualizations is a window like which contains a by default Power BI visualizations. You can create the visualizations, or you can create a report by selecting a visualization and drag and dropping the field here, so that automatically visualization will be created. And here, once you create it, we are going to customize it by increasing or decreasing the respective properties. So there are 2 ways you can create a visualization. One is selecting a visualization and drag and drop the field, or select a visualization, select the visualization and select whatever you want. You need to select that visualization, and then after you need to provide the other things. So this is how you can able to create a visualization. Then after, if you want to configure, we have this option is there. There you can customize it. That is what visualizations tab. So fields is nothing but the list of tables that you loaded will be available here. Visualizations, the list of by default visualizations will be available here. And the third one is report. Here you have a 3 tabs are there. One is report, second one is data view, and a third one is relationships. Report is nothing but here you can create a visualizations. So by default, as I said yesterday, you have a page 1 option. Only one page will be there. Based on your requirement, you are going to create a multiple pages, and each page you can create a multiple visualizations. So this report view refers this complete concept, this complete tab, whatever the tab that you are seeing, and the visualizations and the fields. These 2 things together, we call it as a Power View. Power View is nothing but fields, visualizations, and the report view. I said yesterday that Power BI service also having a Power View, which means in a Power BI service also you can see fields window, visualizations window, this report view. I will showcase that one. So now what this report view is going to showcase is help you is you can create a report, you can create a multiple pages, and each page multiple visualizations you can create with the help of this tab. You can create a visualizations based on your requirement. And the other one, data view, is nothing but here as part of a fields you can see only the table name and a columns. Table name and a columns. As I prepared this data and I have been working on this data, I know what column contains what. But whenever you moved recently or whenever freshly start working on it, you don't know what data it contains also. What data type that it contains also you don't know. At that time, instead of again correcting to the source, again querying, what you can do is from here you can see the raw data. For each table, the raw data associated with the table, you can view it. Okay, so you can see the raw data associated with the table. As part of a fields, you can see the table name and column name, but as part of a data view, you can see the raw data. So that is what the data view. If you want to see the raw data, or if you want to see the data associated with the table, you can see from data view. And the relationship view is nothing but here you can see the list of tables that you loaded. First point. Second point, here you can create a relation between the two tables. You can create a relation between the two tables. Why you need to create a relation between the two tables is, as a naive user, if you want to create a visualization based on a two tables, those two must be related. Okay, so now understand a basic small example. You have a department table is there, we have employee table is there. These tables you know from a long time. So employee ID, employee name, department ID, and department table contains department ID and department name. So you have a requirement that, boss, for each employee you want to see the department name. For each employee you want to see the department name instead of department ID. So if you create a visualization, a table visualization from employee table, employee name, and department table, department name, it is throwing an error. It is throwing an error saying that it cannot display. Why? Because we selected a two columns from a two tables where there is no relation between them. Now, whatever the statement that I made, if you want to create a visualization based on a two tables, those must be related. If they are not related, you are going to see the error. Or on the SQL server end, normally we used to get the same value, wrong data you are going to get. Here it is showcasing an error. So now what you need to do is, you need to create the relation between those two tables. So now I created a relation. You can see that you are getting the data. You are getting the data for some of the departments. I don't have department IDs. So you are able to see a visualization got created based on two tables. Why? Because there is a relationship. Now, what relationship view is going to showcase is, relationship view, it is going to showcase the list of all the tables which are you loaded, along with that the relationships between them. If there is no relationship, you need to create a relationship, okay, by drag and drop with the columns. And sometimes you cannot create a relationship based because the data is not available properly. At that time we have a power query is there. So now you can create a relationship by drag and drop any direction, parent to child or child to parent. You can drag any direction, automatically that will detect. So one to many relationship is there. If you want to create a relationship, always you need to have a data like. Always you need to have a data like one to one and one to many or many to one. If you have a data like this, a relationship can be created. If you have a data like many to many, you need to convert that one into this form, then after you need to create a relationship. Okay, so leave about one to many, many to one and all those things. We'll spend a good amount of time as part of data modeling. For now, on a high level view, relationship view is nothing but, here we are going to do a data modeling. We are going to create a relationships. Why you need to create a relationships is nothing but, if you want to create a relation, if you want to create a visualization based on a different tables, those must be related. Why you don't have the relationship, or why you have independent tables, will dig much as part of coming discussion. For now I don't want to discuss much here. So here you are going to create a relationships, that's it. So these are the 5 windows which are available, which you are able to see. Out of it, I said fields, visualizations and report view is Power View, and the get data, data view and relationship view is nothing but a Power Pivot. These three are a Power Pivot. And now we'll see a detailed discussion. We'll start a detailed discussion of a fields and the other things now. Before continuing further, I hope all are settled now. Does anyone has any questions before continuing further? Based on still one person unable to connect. Even Venkatesh also unable to connect. Okay, fine. Does anyone has any questions before continuing further?
Srinivas, good morning. This is Brahma.
Yes, Brahma.
Here we put the data from Excel sheet. So if you want to connect that Oracle or some other data connections, SQL or something, where you connect that data connection?
So for that also same. Get data. You need to select SQL server. So whenever you select SQL server, it will ask you the server name, database name.
Okay.
And then after click on OK.
We can connect that CSV files also, right? Text file, CSV.
Yeah. You can everything.
Okay.
So you have the more option is there. So these are all the different sources, and those are divided into multiple categories. And you can connect a CSV or a JSON, or if it is a database, it might be Oracle or Teradata, MySQL, Postgres. You can connect any database, or Azure sources you can connect.
And the measures also we can create that calculations measures also we can do here only, no?
You need to create here only, or you need to create in tabular SSIS.
Okay. So then we can use that connection here SSIS tabular, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks.
Yes. Does anyone has any other questions before continuing? Fine. And now, as I said, the fields are nothing but the list of tables that you loaded from a different sources. Here you have a search option is there. Search, if like whenever you're having a multiple tables, if you want to search any table or a column or any measure, you can use that search. It is going to search the table names, column names, and measures from the list of tables that you loaded. Next, the table level, you have some options called new measure, new column, quick measure. These three things we'll discuss in tomorrow's session as a first topic, which are important, but their introduction it will take a 40 minutes of time. We'll discuss tomorrow. Refresh data. Refresh data is nothing but you have an option called refresh here. Whenever you perform a refresh, what will happen is all the sources that you are connected will get refreshed. The data will be reloaded here. So if I perform a refresh here, it is loading a 4 tables data refresh. If I have a 20 tables, the 20 tables data will get refreshed. Let's consider a scenario. I want to refresh only one table. I don't want to refresh all the tables. In that scenario, on a table level, you have an option called refresh data. So only that specific table will get refreshed. And edit query. Edit query is nothing but it is what a Power Query option. Yesterday I said you can do some transformations, right? So whenever you see that sales data table, which contains almost 10 plus columns, but I don't require all these columns. At that time, you have an option called edit query here, or edit queries here, or at the time of loading a data, you have two options are there. At the time of loading a data, after selecting a table, you have two options are there, load and edit. If you click on edit, that will redirect it to you edit queries window, or even if you click on here or if you click on here, three places the same concept. Click on edit query. Whenever you click on edit query, it is going to take you to that another place where you can do some transformations. Okay, let's assume I don't want all the columns, I want only 3 or 4 columns. So then you can remove those columns. I want only these. The columns were removed. So whatever the transformation that you are doing, automatically step will be created. You no need to write any code. Or if you want to perform some group by operation, okay, or if you want to create some columns, or if you want to apply a pivoting, unpivoting, whatever. So as I said yesterday, it contains all SQL related operations. Okay, with respect to normal SQL, what are all the transformations or what are all the queries that you can do, like everything you can do from here. And once you are done with that, you can click on close and apply, so that you can see only 4 columns here. So edit query is a window where you can do a transformations on your data. This can be done, this need to be done in order to prepare your data for modeling. Okay, if you are getting the data from a non-SQL source, which means SQL or any online sources, there you cannot tune your data, there you cannot filter your data according to your requirement. So here you are going to do that operation by using edit query. So once you are done, you are going to click on close and apply. I am removing that operation. So that is what edit query, where you are going to do transformations. Now that is a separate topic, we are going to have a discussion, not now. After 2 or 3 days we are going to have a dedicated discussion on edit queries. So we are going to discuss all the options which are available here, the right click operations, column level and a table level, filter level, and here there are 4 or 5 tabs are there. Each and every option we are going to discuss in next 2 or 3 days of time. So edit query is nothing but Power Query, where you are going to do a transformations. Next, rename. If you want to rename your table, you can rename it, or if you wanted to delete the table, you can delete it. If you want to hide a table, so you can hide the table. So what is the need of a hide? So if you want to delete means if you don't require, you will delete. What is the need of a hide? So hide. So whenever, sometimes we are going to create a bridge tables or a mapping tables in order to create our relationship or modeling. So whenever you are having a many to many data, we are going to create a mapping tables, or sometimes you are going to implement, all the times we are going to implement a security. Whenever we are implementing a security, I am going to load all the users data. I am going to load all the users information in a Power BI, and thereafter I am going to apply a logic that by taking a dynamic function called username, I am going to filter this table and I am going to showcase the relevant data. Some logic I am going to implement. That is for my application. And end user or business user no need to see that users table, users information table. So you can hide that table with the help of this hide option. So if you want to hide any logic implementation tables or security tables, you can hide it with the help of the hide option. If you want to see the list of hidden tables, view hidden option is there. So this is what is hidden, and remaining all are already active. If you want to unhide that one, you can unhide all. And you have collapse all option is there, which is going to close all the tables which are expanded, and expand all, it is going to expand all the tables. So these are the options which are available at a table level. Collapse all and expand all is going to all the tables collapse and expand it. So these are the options which are available on a table level. And here new measure, new column, quick measure we are going to discuss tomorrow, and edit query we are going to have a discussion in next 2 or 3 days of time. The next one is, these are the options available at a table level. Before discussing the next level, so here, as I said in yesterday's session, in Power BI, the framework will be like this. So we are going to load the data from different sources. We are going to load the data from a different sources, and we are going to create a modeling here. Once you are done with the data modeling, you are going to create a visualizations. By default, one page is there, and based on your requirement, you are going to create a multiple pages, and each page you are going to create the visualizations. Each page you are going to create a visualizations based on your requirement. Now here, this is the complete report that you can see with the multiple pages, each page with a multiple visualizations. Now consider a scenario that I want to hide the data from a user. I want to hide some data from a user. Let's assume I have a 4 year. 1 second. Jahrami, any questions?
Announcement.
So please go on mute. Okay, fine. So here, based on a business requirement, sometimes you need to hide the data. Okay, let's assume I have a 10 countries of information is there as part of my database table, but at this point of time my business asked for only the sales of a China specific country, the details they require. At that time, instead of creating your model for specific country, you are going to create a generic model, and on top of it you are going to restrict the data for only one country. Or consider a basic scenario that you loaded the data, you need to display the data, or you need to hide some data based on a business requirement. In that scenario, we have a concept called filters. In that scenario, you have a concept called filters. If you want to hide a data from a users, you have an option called filters. There are three types of filters are there. Those are visualization level filter, page level filter, report level filter. Understand the point very clearly. So you loaded the data, you created visualizations, fine. Based on a business requirement, sometimes you need to hide the data. Okay, let's assume I have 4 years of data, but I need to showcase only 1 year data, current fiscal year data I need to showcase. Okay, so I cannot create a 10 reports for this year, like last year, previous year, right? So we are going to create a generic report and we are going to keep a filter. As part of it, you have a three types of filters are there. In order to hide the data from a user, you have a three types of filters. Those are visual level, page level, report level. What a visual level filter is going to do is, it is going to filter the data for only that visualization, whatever you are applied, and remaining all the visualizations, the filter will not get applied. Only that visualization filter will applied. Sometimes the complete page I need to apply that filter. At that time, instead of providing a filter on each and every visualization on that page, you can apply a filter at a page level itself. So that if you apply a filter at a page level, all the visualizations of that page will get filtered based on that filter. Sometimes you need to apply a filter at a complete report level. Okay, at that time, instead of applying a filter on each and every page or each and every visualization, what you can do is you can apply a filter on a complete report itself. So that filter will apply on all the pages and all the visualizations. So you have a three types of filters based on your requirement. You can use it. Now, how to work with that filters is, so let me create a couple of visualizations over here. Okay, fine. So whatever I have, page 3, page 4, 2 pages are there, which contains some information. 3 visualizations are there here. Now what I want to do is, I want to display in this bar chart only Guntur and Hyderabad information. I have a business requirement that, boss, represent only one bar chart with like for amount paid, which represents Guntur and Hyderabad, and remaining all the visualizations showcase everything. At that time, if I need to hide all the remaining information except Guntur and Hyderabad here. In that scenario, select the visualization. If you come here, there is a concept called filters. You are able to see visual level filter, page level filter, report level filter. For now, our requirement is to a specific visualization. So here you have an option called city name. Whatever you want, select it, Guntur and Hyderabad. Okay. So whenever I filter that one, you can see that the other window is showcasing all the states, another page is showcasing all the cities. So this is not impacted any other visualizations. Okay, for only this one it got filtered. So you can apply a filter like that, whatever you want, you can apply a filter at a visual level filter option. Sometimes we have a requirement that was create a visualization or create a report for only Guntur and Hyderabad. I don't want for anything, only Guntur and Hyderabad. You need to create a report or a page. This page need to represent Guntur and Hyderabad. At that scenario, you have whenever you click on empty space, you have an option called filters, page level, report level, drill through filters, page level. You need to apply a filter at a page level. You need to select Guntur and Hyderabad. You can see everywhere it got filtered for only Guntur and Hyderabad. So Andhra Pradesh only Guntur and Hyderabad, and remaining also filtered based on your selection. So all the visualizations of this page got filtered. This page got filtered based on Guntur and Hyderabad. That is what a page level filter. And on the other page, it is not impacting anything. Let's consider a scenario. The complete report itself, we need to represent only that filter. You need to apply a filter at a complete report level. At that scenario, you need to provide a filter at a report level filter. So you have an option Guntur and Hyderabad. Now go to any other page that got filtered. See all the pages it got filtered. Those are the three types of filters that you have: visualization level, page level, and report level. Based on your requirement, you can hide the data based on the business requirement. Whatever you are hiding, that is applicable for everyone. All the business users will see only that data. Now you have three types of filters: visual level, page level, and report level. Each filter you have two types are there. Under each filter, whatever the filter that you apply, each filter you have two types are there: basic and advanced. Even it is a report level, even it is a page level, whatever, you have two types are there. What do you mean by those are? Basic filtering is nothing but what is going to showcase is in that column called city name, all the distinct values will showcase here. All the distinct values will showcase here. From that you can select whatever you want. That is what basic filtering. Basic filtering is nothing but the distinct values, unique values from that column will be showcased there. You need to manually select whatever you want. That is what basic filtering. There is a concept called advanced filtering. Advanced filtering is nothing but based on your column data type, it is going to showcase advanced options. Let's assume you want to filter based on numeric column. And in numeric column, what are the advanced options that you will have is greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, between, and is null, is not null. If it is a textual column, what are the operations that you can do other than equal to? Starts with, ends with, contains, not contains, is null, is not null. If it is a date column, what you can do? Like after, before, on or after, on or before, like null, not null. Like that, basic filtering is nothing but all the distinct values will get displayed. Advanced filtering is nothing but it is going to showcase contains, not contains, start with, not start with, blank, not blank, is not. Or if it is a, if you take any numeric column, let me take some numeric column, I want to see the amount paid values less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, all the options are there. Similarly, if you take a date column based on the data type, so independent dates are displaying, and you have some option called is after, on or after, before, on or before, blank, not blank. So basic is nothing but the distinct values will be displayed. Advanced is nothing but based on the data type of that column, the other options will be showcased as part of a SQL server or a, like any SQL you have, like where condition, where city name equal to something, and you have operators are there, like logical operators, relational operators, range operators. What is the use of that one? Whenever you don't have the exact value, at that time we are going to use that operators. Same like here also. So visual level or page level or report level, we have three types of filters are there. In each filter you have two categories are there, basic and advanced. The basic is nothing but the distinct values showcased, you need to select manually. Advanced is nothing but you can apply a condition. Whenever I have 1,000 values or 1 lakh values, I cannot select manually, right? So I can apply a condition, I can apply a condition over here with the help of the advanced filtering. Those are the two categories. Now in a visual level filter, you have three categories are there. What is the third category is top n, basic and advanced. Other than that, top n is there. As part of reporting, the top n category requirement is most common. Top 10 sales people, top 10 countries, or top 10 products which are performing well, which are not performing well, top 10 players, how you used to see. In the same way, in order to derive top n categories, you have a top n option is there, which is there as part of a filters only. Let's see, I am representing city wise amount paid. I have only 8 cities are there. Let's assume I have 50 cities are there. I don't want to see all the 50 cities. I want to see a high level view of top 5 cities which is performing well, which is getting a more amount paid. If that is your requirement, if it is your requirement, you have top n option is there, where as part of a visual level filter, as part of a city name, top n option is there. Top n, how many you want? I want top 3. You want to see from a low to high or high to low. If it is high to low, fine. If it is low to high, bottom you have. So then after, on what base you want to see top 3? Based on the amount paid. I want to see top 3 cities which is performing well, top 3 cities based on amount paid. Click on apply. You can see it is showcasing Vijayawada, Vellore and Guntur. If I want to top 5 cities, apply filter, top 5 display. If you want to see bottom 3 cities, least performing, you can see the least ones are getting displayed. If you want to display in order, you have order is there, you don't need to worry at all. Okay, so that you need to configure here, but in order to filter top 3, top 5, top n, you can make it with the help of this one. Okay, so that is what top n categories. So that is about how to derive top n categories. And final thing is, whenever you use a date column, you have an option called relative date filtering. So if you use a date column over here as part of any filter, you have another option called relative date filtering. Relative date filtering is nothing but, so generally in all the companies we have a report requirements that you need to display last 30 days of data, last 15 days of data. Just give me 1 second. 7:30 to 8:30, 8:30. Okay, fine. So if you want, like in almost all the companies, we have a requirements that we need to display last 30 days of data, or last 15 days of data, last 7 days of data. At the time, like we have a weekly report, monthly report, quarterly reports will be there. Instead of creating multiple things, you can apply a single report you can create, and you can apply a different conditions as part of it. I want to see last 30 days of a data, the last 30 days or last 30 months of a data. So apply a filter, last 30 months, whatever the data that we have, that is going to get displayed. Every day it is going to get refreshed, and last 30 days, last 15 days it is going to showcase. So whenever you choose a date column, you have an extra option that you can apply a relative filtering. You can specify last months or years or a days or a weeks. You can apply a filter, so automatically it will keep on showcase the same data. If not, what you need to do is you need to write an SQL query that to get last 15 days, get date minus 15. Okay, and every day you need to refresh it, and that data set will be applicable for only 15 days. If it is the last 30 days, again you need to get another data set. So instead of doing that, you are going to get only single data set with two different conditions. We are going to keep it here. So that is what date level filtering. So this is the complete concept of filters in a Power BI. So does anyone has any questions on it? Anyone has any questions? Arpit, if you are speaking, I am unable to hear you.
Yeah, Srinivas, this is Arpit.
Go ahead.
My question is here, each page is a single dashboard or it is just a sheet?
Perfect question as a Tableau developer. So you people will refer each sheet as a dashboard, I feel, okay, but here it's a page only.
So can we combine, like we have page 3, page 4, can we combine data from page 3 and page 4 into a single separate page?
What do you mean by combine? So we are getting the data here and we are creating a multiple pages here. So what do you mean by combine?
No, my question is that suppose you have page 3, in page 3 you have some visualization, in page 4 you have some visualization, okay. Suppose in page 5 I want the combination of page 3 and page 4, is it possible?
You can create a visualizations, but you cannot showcase these two things together. So that is what we have a dashboard concept which is available in Power BI service. Yesterday I said, right? So okay. So here a dashboard is nothing but, I said, based on a different pages of a report, we are going to combine the visualizations in a single page. This is a dashboard I referred, and whenever you click on here, you will be redirected to this page. Whenever you click on here, you will be redirected to this page, and you can interact with that complete page.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so this concept is available in Power BI service. We will see. Anyone has any other questions on filters, whatever we discussed?
Srinivas, I have a question here.
Go ahead.
If you have data in different sheets, like I have 3-4 Excel sheets, I wanted to create visualization. Is it possible?
You need to load all the 4 tables, all the 4 sheets, all the 4 separate Excel sheets. Sheets are Excel files.
Okay.
No, I am asking that you have a separate sheets or separate Excel. Okay. So whenever you have a 4 separate Excel, you need to load all the Excels here, whatever the table that you want. Then after you need to create a relationships between the tables. Then after you can create a visualization.
Okay. And can we create visualizations with suppose I have some data in web and I have some data in Excel. So like that combination, is it possible?
Yes, it is possible. So you need to load the web data, and then after you need to load the Excel data, and you need to create a relation between them here. So once you load the tables here, everything is a Power Pivot tables. Okay. So at the time of loading itself, those are different sources. Once you load it, everything is a Power Pivot table. There is no difference between the tables, whatever it may be the source. You need to create a relationship here, then after you can create a visualizations.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, Srinivas.
Yes. Yes, Brahma.
Yeah, here how can you remove the duplicate data here from different sources like CSV or text file and web data?
So if you want to, if you wanted to remove the duplications, you have the read query option is there. There you can remove the duplicates.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the maximum data storing how much they here in desktop?
So 2 GB I said yesterday, like it's a 2 GB.
Okay. If you are using for services in Azure, then can use the more data, right?
Yes, if you are using a tabular SSAS or if you are using a Azure data warehouse, you can work with a huge amount of data with a live connection option. And Srijit, do you have any questions?
Yes, like if you want to add more visualizations other than the current ones, so how will be able?
We are going to showcase that one. We have a custom visualizations concept is there. We have a custom visualizations. We are going to explain that one.
Okay.
So anyone has any questions on the filters? Whatever we discussed, Murli, go ahead. Murli, any questions? Okay, fine. So this is the complete concept of filters. And final call, if anyone has any questions on the filters. That is one of the interview question. What are the different types of filters are there?
Srinivas, one more question here. Any reporting tool, there is a concept called optimization, performance tuning. In Power BI, where it will come to the concept?
So as part of once we learnt everything, we are going to have a discussion of a best practice implementation. There I am going to showcase like what are all the things that we need to take care as part of a best practice.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, Srinivas, here it's showing also a drill down or drill through the filter. Sometimes around 3 times or 5 times, sir.
One second. Can you please repeat?
Yeah, you are said visual level, page level, report level. Here it is also showing a drill down and
drill through filter. We are going to have a discussion tomorrow or day after tomorrow.
But we have only three filters only, na?
No, actually drill through filter was introduced 2 months back. It is a different feature, but filters we have only 3 types of filters: visualization level and page level and report level. Yes.
So if someone is asking, we said only 3 only, na?
Only 3 you can proceed.
Okay.
Yeah. Drill through filter is a separate concept. If you want to implement a drill through report, at that time you are going to use it. We are going to have a discussion tomorrow or day after tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Final call. Anyone has any questions on whatever we discussed so far? Fine. So okay, fine. So why I explained that one is, after explaining the table level properties, why I explained filters is, at a column level options, you have an option called add filter. What do you mean by add filter is nothing but, if you wanted to apply a filter. One second. Jason, any other questions? Okay, fine. So like add on a column level, you have an option called add filter. This add filter is nothing but, so if you want to apply a page level or report level filter, we are going to use this add filter option. Okay, so that's why we discussed everything. Add filter is nothing but it is going to add it to the page level filter. Then after you can select whatever you want. The next one is on a column level, the first property is a filter. We already had a discussion. New hierarchy will be discussed as part of a tabular SSAS, like in next 3 or 4 days of time. New measure, new column, quick measure, tomorrow morning we are going to have a discussion. Rename, if you want to rename a column or if you want to delete a column, you can make it. Hide, if you want to hide a few columns instead of hiding a complete table, you can hide it. What is the need of hiding a column? Is nothing but, as part of data retrieval process or as part of data modeling, we are going to create a relationships on the base of ID columns. not on the basis of name columns. Or so as part of your fact table creation, we are going to get the data along with the IDs. As part of your SQL query, you are going to write a joins, right? So as part of performance tuning, instead of joining on a name columns, you are going to join based on ID columns, and you are going to retrieve that ID columns. That ID columns are not required to the user. At that time, we are going to hide it. So whatever the columns which are not required, you can hide it with the help of hide column. View hidden, if you want to see that hidden columns, you can see, you can select a view hidden. If you want to unhide all, you have unhide option is there. So all the columns, all the tables which are hidden, that will be unhidden. Collapse all, expand all, already discussed. And the only new thing is new group. New group is nothing but by default whatever the column that you have, by default whatever the column that you have, whenever you create a visualization, grouping will be performed. So what do you mean by grouping will be performed is, so I have almost 200 records, but whenever I created a visualization based on city name and amount paid, but I got only 8 bars based on by grouping on a city name. Chennai grouped, Coimbatore grouped, Guntur grouped, everything is grouped and displaying the data. Okay, this grouping is done based on the information that I have as part of a city name column. Let's consider a scenario. I want to perform a grouping on top of this column which is available. Okay, by default these are the distinct values that I have as part of that column, but the business requirement is, boss, I require or showcase the data of a Guntur and Hyderabad in a single bar, remaining all in another bar, or showcase Guntur and Hyderabad in a single bar, remaining all in a single bar as others. That is what the other requirement. So if you need to create a grouping on top of another dimension values, on top of a dimension values, if you want to group the items together, you have a new group option is there. So what you can do is city name, new group. Whenever you are creating a new group, you need to select what are the items that you want, Hyderabad and Guntur as a single group, and click on OK. So another column got created. In that column, Hyderabad and Guntur is as a single value, remaining all as a distinct values we have. Now I am removing the city name and adding a city name over here. You can see Hyderabad and Guntur is displaying on a x-axis. You can see Hyderabad and Guntur is displaying on a single bar, remaining all in another bar. And let's consider a scenario that you want to showcase Guntur and Hyderabad in single bar and remaining all are as part of others. I don't want to see the remaining things. At that time, you can modify the group which you created and you can select include other group, so that all the ungrouped items will come as the other. You can see Guntur and Hyderabad and other. So instead of getting this query from a database, you can make it from here. Okay, so on top of a dimension column that you have, if you want to perform a grouping, you have this new group option is there, where you can create your custom groups instead of by default dimension values. So that is what new group. And once you create a new group, you can edit that group with the help of edit groups option, or you can create multiple groups based on your requirement. Okay, so if you want to accomplish this requirement, what you need to do, you need to create another column in SQL. You need to create another column in SQL by mentioning that wherever city name equal to Guntur, you need to get the value as Guntur and Hyderabad. Wherever it is Hyderabad, you need to get a Guntur and Hyderabad. Like that, you need to generate another column and you need to get that column here, and then after you need to make it. But here directly you can make it like this. That is what new group, or once you create a new group, we can edit the group. What is the use of new group is nothing but if you wanted to define custom dimension based on the other dimension. Okay, you already have a dimension called city name which is having 8 distinct values, but if you wanted to define your own dimension value, like if you wanted to customize that dimension, we have a new group option is there, where you can add or group the items dimension values here like this. That is what new group option. So these are the options available at a column level. So we discussed about a fields, we discussed about a filters, and all the options associated with the fields and filters were discussed. Only the hierarchy, new measure, quick measure need to discuss, and edit query. So that's it for now, and from here onwards we are going to discuss in tomorrow's session. Before closing, if you have any questions on yesterday's session or today's session, please let me know. Before asking your questions, as you understood something about a Power BI window, how we are going to proceed from here onwards is fortunate. Yes. So how we are going to proceed is, in next session, tomorrow's session, we are going to have a discussion on the new measure, new column, and a quick measure. Along with that, the drill through filters and drill down visualizations we are going to see tomorrow session. Okay. Then after, by tomorrow you will be like, we completed a fields and a filters, everything. Then after, we are going to have a discussion on all the windows, like the report view, all the options, data view, all the options, relationship view, all the options, the home tab, the view tab, modeling, help, format, and drill, like data red drill. We have 6 tabs are there. Next 3 hours of time, including tomorrow, we are going to understand all the options which are available over here. Next 3 hours. Then after another 2 hours, we are going to discuss on edit queries. Then after, we are going to see a discussion on visualizations and their properties. Each visualization, what is that functionality and what are the properties that are available, everything we are going to discuss. Then after, we are going to discuss about a data sources, how to connect SQL Server, how to connect Azure, how to connect SSAS, and everything we are going to have a discussion. Along with that, SSAS development will be discussed. Almost 5 to 6 hours of time we are going to spend it. But then after, we are going to see file menu options. With that, complete Power BI desktop will be covered. This is the flow. Next 3 hours or 2.5 hours or whatever, we are going to understand all the options which are available as part of Power BI, so that you will get a clear picture with respect to the tool. Then after, edit queries, which are nothing but transformations. Then after, visualizations and their properties. And then after, how to work with the different sources. I will explain that few sources. Then after, finally, we are going to cover the file menu options. Then after, Power BI service, Power BI mobile, and everything will be covered. This is the flow. Okay. So that's it from my end. Yesterday's video is already shared, and if you have any other questions, please proceed now. And all the people who joined from my institute, please stay back for 2 minutes of time. And other people, if you have any questions, please let me know.
Srinivas?
Yes.
Any report in if you want to develop the report in Power BI, only desktop, this is the interface only, na? There is no other way, right?
No, I said right, even in a Power BI service also you can create a report.
Okay, that interface is different, right?
Yeah, that interface is different. Like Power BI service is nothing but it's a web based one.
Okay.
So initial days we never used a Power BI desktop. Why? Because we started working with the tabular SSAS. We directly create a reports in Power BI service itself. So this is a Power BI service. You have, whenever you click on this one, you have an option that fields, visualizations, filters. You can create a multiple pages. This is what I said, right? So like Power View is there in Power BI service. You can see the fields, filters, visualizations, and report. If your data set is created, you can work from here also.
Okay.
Yes. Anyone has any questions?
And one more thing, if we have any Azure account, we can create one instance on UM machine Azure environment, After that, like Windows Server 2016 or 2012, we can install that Power BI in that machine.
Yeah, you can make it.
Okay.
So complete development will be done on virtual machines only, no? So Azure machines. So you can install it. Deepti, go ahead. Any questions, Deepti? Anyways, so Amar and Arpit, Brahma, Hari, Jahnavi, Manoj, Manasa, and Shiv Prasad, Sugata, and Sridevi, Srijit, Sushmita, and Vishnu. Any questions? If you don't have any questions, you can mention no as part of my chat, or you can drop also. As it is, we are done with the today's. Arjun will discuss. I think I missed a question from Arjun. Just be on hold, Arjun. Thanks much for joining. People don't have questions, you can drop. What do you mean by real-time view, Arjun?
Hello.
Yes, Arjun. Yes, but yes, go ahead, Saugata.
I'm saying that you will share this video, right? Actually, first around 30 minutes now, I was having some issue with my audio, so I missed first 30 minutes.
Yeah, you, like I observed, like you are unable to connect for a long time. I will share this video.
Yeah, okay.
Please go through with yesterday's video and this video, and if you have any questions, we'll have a call.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Arjun? Yes.
This is Hari.
Yes, Hari.
Yeah, I don't have access. I didn't get access to see the videos. So can you please give me access?
Sure. Please share me your email ID as part of message.
Yeah,
I will add it.
I have pinged in the chat.
Okay, fine. I will take care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks much. Manoj, any questions?
Hello.
Yes.
Best performance wise will be import query better or direct query better?
Import query, see, best performance, import query if you use, you are going to shut down your project. May I know who is speaking? Is it Amar?
Yeah.
Yeah, so best performance, like see, import query if you use, you can load a maximum of a 2 GB of a data. If you have more than 2 GB of a data, what you are going to do? So,
I don't know.
no, you worked for a 1 month or 2 months or 3 months of time, and you taken all the requirements, you given a complete budget, and you spend a lot of time, you created beautiful reports. But whenever you went on live, you have more than 2 GB of a data. At that time, the imported model cannot be converted into live connection or direct query. Okay, at that time the complete effort you need to redo it, and there is no comparison with the direct query and import. Whenever you import it, you have a limitation of 2 GB. More than 2 GB you cannot do anything. That's it, you need to close it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Direct query actually already this and any limitation?
Which one?
Direct query also?
Direct query, if you are using SSAS, you don't have any limitation.
Okay.
But if you are coming from a, like if you are working with SQL server, there are limitations are there. And you need to work on both the places. SQL server you need to work, and you need to work on a Power BI. As part of a best practice for industry, you need to use SSAS live connection.
Okay.
And why
there is
SSAS?
No limitation in SSCS in tabular model?
Limitation means more than 5 TB of data, it will not work. And we are not going to work with more than 5 TB of data.
Oh,
and
okay.
And from a Microsoft perspective, you have a Azure SSAS is there. So that's why they introduced Azure SSAS. If you have more than 5 TB of data, you can load it as part of Azure. There is no limitations. See, if there is a limitation with the tabular SSAS means there is a limitation with the Power BI. So if SSAS is scrap means Power BI is scrap.
I have a small doubt.
Go ahead.
Tabular, not a SSAS multidimensional also is in any work? in Power BI editor?
We don't require any help, or we are not going to work on a multi-dimensional SSAs with the Power BI. For already existing products, if you need to create a report, you need, but like Microsoft itself is not supporting Azure multidimensional, and we don't require that one.
Okay. That's enough.
Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Yeah.